Welcome to Through the Lens of Miami Real Estate. I am your host, Roberto Portal, founder and creative producer of 97 Brickell Real Estate Media. And today I have the privilege and honor to introduce a very special guest to our channel. From Tequesta 1 to the Mandarin Oriental, it is impossible to talk about Miami real estate without mentioning the name of Maile Aguila, an icon and visionary behind Miami's Brickell neighborhood for the past 30 years.
True. Thank you so much. About the 30 years, and I've been with Swire for 30 years. As far as being the only person in Brickell, I'm one of them, yes.
I understand that your love for equestrian life and horses came as a young girl in Cuba.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about that and your grandfather's influence on you.
Well, I was born in Cuba, and my parents, my grandfather had a resort on the western tip of the island. And as a child, I was the first grandchild, I would go to this resort and spend a lot of time with my grandparents. And they spoiled me rotten. They gave me every animal that I ever dreamed of, but the first one and the most impactful animal that came into my life are horses. So that's something that when I finally came from Cuba to Miami was probably one of the things that really hurt me the most about leaving behind the country life and being around animals. So it wasn't until I came into my teens that I finally had the opportunity to start riding again. I purchased a horse for my first time, and it gave me a lot of responsibility because I was in high school and my parents said that they would not support my passion. And so the good thing that I felt from being around horses was, A, it taught me responsibility. It taught me to win and lose with grace and dignity. And it also taught me that horses are healers. So as I've grown throughout my life, I've competed a lot. But really what gives me most joy right now is I'm on the board of a foundation called Whispering Manes. And it's an equestrian center that does therapeutic riding for any individuals that have any type of disabilities, spinal cord injuries.
Children with autism.
And children with autism. And it's very rewarding to see how horses have such a connection with people and they change people's lives. So that's kind of when anybody talks to me, it's always Maile and horses.
They have like
and real estate.
They have like a special spirit, don't they? That, you know, like you said, it's a healing element.
They're very intuitive, and people don't understand how much they know about us before we even mount them, you know. So I find them to be extremely fascinating creatures, and they give you a lot of love, affection, and they respond. And that's a wonderful thing when you connect.
That's beautiful. I think nature is one of the biggest influences for me personally, and one of the biggest inspirations for me to continue to doing the work and showing up every day. I think
I agree.
It comes from nature.
I agree, and anybody who knows me, my office has pictures everywhere of me with horses, me with my daughter and horses, and it's like the story of our life, you know.
That's beautiful.
And it's a great way to meet people and break the ice when you're getting to know somebody. You know, you talk about something that's not related to what you really want to do that day, and somehow you form a connection and people let their guard down, and then you're able to really help your client.
You know, my family and horses go back a long time. Javier Castellano, he's a Venezuelan jockey. He raced for us back one of our last races in Venezuela. He won the Derby a couple of years ago.
That's amazing.
It was the last one that he was missing. He's in the Hall of Fame of jockeys. And anyway, for us, equestrian has always been a passion.
For me as well.
And it's something that you share with your daughter.
It's something that I share with my daughter. She started riding at the age of 18 months,
wow.
Which is right about the same time that I did, which is not something that I would tell people to do, but we live on a farm, we live with the horses, and the first thing she ever saw when she was born was a horse's nostrils. So she relates to them, they're her family, and It's been an incredible experience to grow up with my daughter and share the same kind of passion and be there for each other. It's taught her life lessons as well as myself, and we continue to do it together. It's a bond that we have created, and horses bring people together, and it's a beautiful sport. We've competed all over the United States and Canada as well.
Maile, I read that Ken Griffin, the CEO of Citadel, he mentioned and he talks about Brickell as the Wall Street of the South.
And it is. And it is.
And why do you feel like that's such an accurate statement?
Well, I've been working for Swire, like you said, 30 years. So I've actually, seen the evolution of Brickell and Brickell Key as well. And historically, all the way back into the late 70s and early 80s, everyone in South America, Central America, the Caribbean knew about Miami. And they knew about Miami, and specifically the Brickell corridor, because all the international banking is here, and all of the consulates are here, and the concentration of corporations that were here, accounting firms, legal firms, stockbrokers, they were all centralized in Brickell Avenue. So
Financial district.
It was the financial district and still is. And along the way, smart developers started to acquire properties on the waterfront, and
Sure.
And they started infilling all the Brickell corridor. And Swire had a significant impact in this area because they've been in Miami since about 40 years ago. We actually celebrated Swire Properties 50 years 2 years ago, and 40 of them, they've really concentrated on Brickell and Brickell Key specifically. So yes, Ken is right. I think that today it's actually even more than that, because it's become one of the best and sought after neighborhoods in all of Miami. And it's because of the impact and contribution that many key developers in this area concentrated on. And we've got great names and great companies that have looked at us and decided to develop, whether it's commercial properties or whether it's multifamily properties or whether it's condos. This area really has always had a boom. And depending on what cycle of the market we've been in, it continues to grow. And so I could talk about this because, you go back 30 years, and 30 years ago, yes, it was the financial district, but it was still very quiet, There wasn't life here. It was a 9 to 5 sort of area that you would come. So Swire had the vision many years ago to look at this island, this 44-acre island, and to slowly start to acquire key lots on this island. And today, we've developed the majority of this island, except for 3 buildings that we did not build. Brickell Key 2 was not built by us, but they did start selling more or less at the same time that we introduced One Tequesta. We saw the opportunity because we build transformational projects all over the world. And we understand that in order to make a change, you have to bring in food and beverage, shopping.
Yep.
We had other things already here, like the medical centers are very close to us. The universities are close to us. Our connectivity with the Metro Rail and Metro Mover eventually made us come here
More
and
accessible.
focus here.
Yeah.
And it all really started here in Brickell. And if you go back and you study the history of Miami, this was a landfill island that came from the dredging of the Miami River. So it's got a lot of history.
And I think touching on the boom that it's had over the last decade, one of the things that I think attributed to that boom is the Brickell City Center.
Absolutely.
And you had a hand
Absolutely.
in that project.
You know, the last building I delivered on the island was in 2008, and it was Asia. And it was our luxury boutique building. And after that, because of one of the cycles of real estate, we had the opportunity to acquire 3 contiguous blocks right on Brickell Avenue in the center and heart of Miami. And we took a leap of faith, and we went ahead and we bought it, and we bought it right. And we already had experience on how to build these mixed-use projects because we've done them globally, that for us, it was probably the natural course for us to take. And we knew that if we brought all the infrastructure here, and we brought, you know, one of our hotel brands, which is East Hotel, and we built 2 office towers, and we built 2 condos, Reach and Rise, sitting on a pedestal of 500,000 square feet of shopping center with an anchor like Saks Fifth Avenue and all these incredible restaurants. It just made this whole area just grow and grow and grow. And today, that skyline that you see here in Brickell, Swire has had a big part in the evolution of this area because they invested in billions of dollars here in order to make this city what it is today.
Absolutely. And from so many dining options, if you had to pick one restaurant at Brickell City Center to take your clients, what would it be?
Oh God, that's a hard one because you know, it depends on what mood I'm in because you have so much variety. I like Mexican food. I like sushi. I like Mediterranean food. I like Italian food. I think if you ask me the question, which is the hottest place where everybody wants to go, see and be seen, I would say Casa Tua.
Sure.
I think that they have had an impact incredible on the shopping center. I just can't believe the amount of people that come there all day long.
Yep.
And it's probably where everyone wants to see and be seen, but there's a lot of very good restaurants.
My favorite new one is Motek.
Yeah, Motek is great.
It's light. It's
Yes.
you know, it's very Mediterranean.
There's a lot of variety to choose from. So
Maile, today we're sitting at the very new sales gallery for the Mandarin Oriental. This project, in my opinion, is in a league of its own. We're sitting on 5 acres here in the heart of Brickell Key. Tell me, where did the ideation behind this project come to life? What year were conversations starting? And bring me to now, just a week ago, you participated in the launch of the gallery.
yes, this project is very near and dear to my heart. It's something that I've been waiting for my entire career. When we were phasing out of the 2, you know, Reach and Rise at Brickell City Center, I had the opportunity to join and work very closely with the development team and the marketing team at Swire. And we started to really sit down and think, you know, what is the highest and best use for this 5-acre piece? We knew that we wanted a branded hotel. We knew that we already had an incredible relationship for over 25 years here in Miami with Mandarin. And if I've done my job properly, which is to listen to the public that we've been selling throughout all these years, I in my mind, had an idea that this had to be something iconic, a landmark, a masterpiece. Why? Because we're surrounded by water, we're on an island, our views are endless.
And forever.
And forever. And we had the ability to be able to build an island within an island concept and make it a resort type of lifestyle, because we had also seen throughout the years in the development of Brickell Key Island as well as Brickell City Center that there's so many families, young families here today. There's businessmen, there's empty nesters, and we wanted to elevate what we feel is the level of luxury. And no one could do it better than Swire. They're a 200-year-old company. They've been doing this all their lives. And we got together with a very eclectic group of consultants. people that hadn't developed here before or designed here before. And we wanted to bring something new, something hadn't been seen, but we wanted to brand it with Mandarin. So we went through 3 years of iterations of going back and forth and yes and no, and we want to tweak this, we want to change that. And finally, we decided that this was the perfect building. The two building concept, one, the South Tower, residential tower, which is 228 residences with what I call livable, real homes in the sky. You know, the building only has 2, 3, 4, and 5 bedroom product, and then it's got 2 duplex penthouses on the 66th floor. And we gave them everything that we've seen luxury should be. A brand, the services, the location, the floor plans. And we also learned, and the amenities, of course, but we learned also a lot because we got caught in the middle of the COVID era, which also changed the way we design and how we live. Before, people, you know, the work from home concept was for very few. Now it's turned around. And so, you know, our units are big, and they're big because we want to give you that extra space, to give you the flexibility to do whatever you want to with it. It could be a gym, it could be a home office, it could be a playroom, it could be whatever you want it to be. So our units are quite large, and we have private elevators, 11-foot high ceilings. We have storages on every floor, which is something we had introduced back when I sold Asia. So I kind of took the concept of Asia and kind of just expanded on it and made it better. And I mean, incredible livable terraces that you can have time outside and time inside when you're staying in your home practically all the time. So we wanted to give you things that made you feel healthy, things that make you feel good. And I think that what we ended up with is something really unique and special, and that will never be repeated again because you can't replicate this opportunity anywhere in Miami.
No, it's remarkable. And I think part of the success that you guys have had with your launch is due to the appetite that's been built up in this market. You know, there hasn't been a project like this in a very long time.
No. 16 years.
Yeah.
16 years ago, people started asking me, Maile, but what's going to happen over there in the corner? And I kept smiling and saying, you saved the best for last. I can't tell you what it's going to be right now, but whatever it is, it's going to be really special. And now, I think, I really believe we got it right, because I've heard incredible compliments about the design, about all of the amenities, and what the future of this island is going to be like 10, 12, 20 years from now.
Some of the eclectic few that have helped put this project together, one of the things that really left an impression on me arriving at the gallery is the landscaping.
Absolutely.
Down that trail.
Absolutely.
Tell me a little bit about the landscape designers, and then we'll touch a little bit about the interior Parisian influence.
Okay. Well, I'm like the honorary tour guide for Swire. When anybody comes from out of state, out of the country, it's always Maile, go take them for a tour of Miami. So I have it down to a real perfection. So I quite enjoy, you know, I get to be like the first ones that really get a hold of our new consultants and kind of show them around. And I sell them on Miami and Miami Beach, the evolution of this city within the last 50 years. And they're blown away by it because Miami is a gateway city, and it's got an international flair that you don't find anywhere else except maybe cities like New York and California, just a few. This has it all. And then it also has that flair from being, you know, the Latin American cultures and all the mixes of the different countries. And we're all here, and we all have a commonality that we love the ocean, we love clean air, and we like to be close to the water. and even though you're not on a beach, and it was the normal thing for us to do, I think, you know. And we brought in a group of consultants for the landscape architecture that they're Thai. So we've used them in Thailand before in projects that we've done out there. They're a young group of gentlemen, and the name of their company is Shma, which means earth in Thai. And I had the ability to spend 2 days driving them around all of the beach, all of Miami, all the way south to the Grove. I have this little tour that I have that I take you through the beach, I bring you across, I show you, I go all the way to the design district, then I come back, and
Next
then I
time we'll do this on the tour.
it'd be great because I think you get a little flavor of all the different neighborhoods in Miami.
Lifestyle.
And lifestyle. So you get to decide where you think you fit.
I love that. It's so neat. Thank you for sharing that. Tell me about the Parisian influence and the interior design. You mentioned the sales gallery has 2 interior designers. Talk to me about the color that we'll find right when we walk in, and then some of these spaces here that we're sitting in now.
We have chosen 2 very eclectic and unique Parisians. Tristan Auer, he is taking and he designed what we are sitting in here right now today. He's doing the South Tower, the main tower. And Laura Gonzalez is also Parisian, and we selected her for the hotel because she has a lot of experience in the hotel industry. He's very soft and muted. She's very colorful and vibrant. So we felt that that was a great, you know, balance to have more fun and color in the hotel and more seductive, subdued colors in the tower. And we think about endless, timeless type of design, and we have found so far that we've come in with certain elements that no one else has had the inspiration to use. Yes, everyone's selling kitchens and bathrooms and little perks here and there, but Tristan, particularly in the South Tower, he introduced portals, and it's very unique to Miami. And we at first weren't really clear of what that meant, but he's brought in timber and travertine and dressed the doorways into the living areas and the master areas, and it just like, it's like a frame. It's like you take a picture and then you frame it. And he's just done a fantastic job here. And in the very short time that we've been open, which is basically a week, the people that come here, they're just taken aback of how beautiful it is. Because this tower, since it's so close to the water, and it's so subtle and understated, it just kind of flows with nature. So I think they did a phenomenal job. Both of them have done a phenomenal job.
I love the use of wood in the gallery, especially in the doorways.
Yes.
Those portals are...
They're amazing.
And
your last name is
well,
Portal. Little joke, sorry.
Okay, so let's move into... I want to talk about sustainability a little bit.
Sustainability is like one of our key pillar elements in Swire.
So tell me, what does sustainability mean to you at Swire, and how do you approach projects like this with that at the forefront?
We have a huge, sustainability is very big from Hong Kong all the way to England to Miami. We want to live on this planet a longer time, so we need to start taking care of this planet, and it begins with each one of us individually, either as individuals or as companies, to really make an effort to make this planet a better place and get rid of plastics and use paper, and all these things is something that it's like a daily mantra in our company, you know? Mm-hmm. And some people talk about it, but they really don't put it into effect.
Yeah.
We do practice it globally. It's very important to us.
I think that's something that makes Swire very unique and that they're mindful of that footprint.
Very much.
As a real estate icon, what has been your most rewarding project to date and why?
You know, that's a very interesting question because there's not one in particular. There's a charm about some of them are a collection, like Tequesta 1, 2, and 3. I would say probably Tequesta 1 was my first one, and that really gave me the energy and the appetite to want to do more. And then I would say another one of the buildings that are unforgettable for me is Carbonell. And last, I would say, not last but least, I mean Asia, I got to name that building. So that's extra special to me. And then Reach and Rise were great to develop in Brickell City Center and sell because I'd never sold in a mixed-use project where, you know, the condo was sitting on top of the pedestal of a dynamic mixed-use center. And so that in itself was really unique. But for sure, by far, this is it. This is what I've waited for and I've worked my whole career for.
This
so
is your
I can tell you
opus.
that, yes, I've dedicated 3 years of my life to really, and they gave me, Swire allowed me the ability to really have a voice at the table. And I think that's important. Because at the end of the day, our job is to relay back to the developer, you know, what we see are the nuances or what are the likes or dislikes of buyers, what are the trends that are coming up, what makes people want to buy from you. And that's our job, to transmit that information. And I think for me, if I were to have done a checklist of everything I could ever want in a building, I think this project really is the one.
Maile, as someone who has achieved so much in real estate, what advice do you have for young women who are starting a career in real estate?
You know, I get asked that question often. My daughter followed in my footsteps. She's doing real estate. You gotta love what you do. And whatever you do, give it your all. Study, get educated, learn the different markets, understand the legalities of what you're doing, and stay relevant. You know, and now today, in particular, the world of social media, it just has opened us up to the entire universe. So take advantage of it, you know.
This is an excellent segue to my next question. How important is media in selling a project like this? I know that you are a firm believer in the power of video.
I totally am.
And in the renders, and I think some of the success that this project has had is thanks to the detail that can be seen when viewing these renders and viewing these, you know, being able to see the project, feel the project, even though the project is not here yet.
Exactly.
Tell me a little bit about that and why you're such a firm believer in that.
Well, because it's such an easy way to reach out to markets that you would never have had the ability to. Today, you can click and you can see anything you want, anywhere you want. But I strongly think that it's all about promoting yourself, and it's all about presenting yourself and setting yourself apart from everyone else. And I think right now more than ever, everybody's selling through social media, and it's a very easy way to connect.
Couldn't agree with you more. Last question, Maile. One of the things that is most exciting to me about this project is the penthouse.
Oh.
So tell me a little bit about that. I know that you're going to be able to view the pool right when you arrive.
It's spectacular.
And it's designed either for one buyer or for two. Talk to me a little bit about the thoughts that went into designing the upper penthouse. I also believe the ceiling was raised a little bit on that level.
Yes.
I think it's 12 versus 11, the rest of the building.
And you have areas where you have the double height when you walk in. I mean, it's a very impressive design. I am a true believer that people buy through their eyes and what they see, and it's an emotional purchase for the most part, you know, and you have to put yourself into that space. And I think what we did with the penthouses in particular, it's like the minute that your private elevator door opens, you just see all this magnitude of water and beauty surrounding. And we felt that it was natural from there to give that individual or two that are, if they're buying separate units, the ability to feel like they have a home up in the sky with a very large swimming pool, with sort of a cabana area outside that you can entertain, and have an incredible living area that with vaulted ceilings that are 2-story, and be able to just take in more and more and more of the view. It's just outstanding. And as far as the living areas, you know, in penthouses like that, it's very important, you know, the appointments in the kitchen, if you have a chef's kitchen available, having staff housing inside the unit, being able to turn part of it into a theater, another one into an office, another one into a gym. I mean, you can just diversify all over the place and design it to suit your specific needs. So yes, it's something quite unique and very impressive.
And can we talk about numbers when it comes to the penthouse? Or is that something that you're comfortable with?
We put it out. We had an article out that said that we're asking for the entire 2 units $100 million. You're getting a lot for that.
And buyers will also have some input into the final touches, I understand?
We can, yes.
There's flexibility.
If you buy, yeah, there's flexibility if you buy early.
Right. Right.
So yes, absolutely.
And just to wrap it up, Maile, I think, so delivery is expected late 2028, early 2029.
I would say more 2029.
Okay, and it's quality over quantity.
Exactly.
Good things take time.
Yes.
Things that are going to outlast us all take time.
Yes.
What can you tell buyers that are coming to look at the project and what they can expect upon delivery?
I think you're going to get a level of service you've never seen before. Mandarin is planning for this new hotel to be the flagship of North America, their poster child, and we feel that this area has so much to give and still has so much potential in the future that the sky's the limit as to where we're going to go.
Well, Maile, thank you so much for your time today. I
Thank
really
you.
enjoyed talking with
It's
you
my
and
pleasure.
learning about the project.